Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're watching right around the world. That's right, we are back for another week. It is the Interleague Summer Series, and after the successful practice round, it's the real deal now. First round here tonight with opening practice from 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 p.m. The practice lobby. Official practice of 30 minutes before we kick into the 20-minute qualifying session, which we are watching as we speak, followed by a 60-minute race, full formation lap with one mandatory pit stop. Boy, oh boy, the excitement. And look at the turnout. There's that many names. They are off the charts. As I welcome my co-commentator, Bob Hoskins. We've got that many screens going, Bob. It's an absolute pleasure to have you tonight.
Yeah, brilliant to join tonight. Obviously, I had a bit of a mishap. I got a quick deployment for work, so joining you from my phone in the hotel tonight. But it's going to be exciting. I think we're going to see a lot of that tonight. You're going to see a lot of off tracks, a lot of sliding. The tyres, as we saw from Wilco's hot lap, it looked like all the colours of the rainbow. So yeah, it's going to be a fun one tonight.
Going to be an absolute ripper, no doubt about that. Someone awesome having a moment. These BMWs are awesome, and I picked up the DLC, the Challenger pack, a couple of minutes ago. But tell us about these cars, Bob. They are interesting. They're just sometimes they can be a little bit hard to control, can't they? If you get it all wrong.
Yeah, I mean, they're forgiving in some ways, like they're very stable over the curbs and such like, but yeah, they're not very kind on their tyres. Obviously, there's not a lot of aero, or if any aero at all, on these things. So yeah, it can be very harsh on the tyres, but the ride is actually, pretty comfortable, if that makes sense.
And we've also got Jimbledon, of course. We're going to go across to his stream throughout the course of the night. But let's have a look through this. We've got Rising Phoenix, Shakedown guys, as well as KRL in it, as well as Sexy Rexy quickest provisional pole time. Then Barter's knocking him off by a tenth, if you don't mind, a 151.022. And look how close these times are at the start of this qualifying session. Sexy Rexy been in good form of late. And I've got to say that it's Albert and John with the same time, Bob. That's how close it is, with the King of Spain getting that P3 provisionally at the moment because he set that time first.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of this tonight. Obviously, there's a lot of boys they run the same sort of pace, and these cars and this style of race just makes for even closer than normal racing. So yeah, I mean, as we go through the race, Jim will be able to give us some good insight into the shakedown drivers and who's really hot from there. And obviously we've been together for a long time. We can bring our picks from the RPR and the KRL boys.
Certainly, no doubt about that. We've got it covered from all angles, like you said tonight, Bob, and you can see in the top right-hand corner of your screen. Hopefully that's coming through clear for all 11 people watching tonight, and that is Jimbledon. Let's have a look at this. We've got multiple camera angles here. Where is Jimbledon? He's down, yet to set a time. There he is. In fact, that's Sexy Rexy on your screen at the moment. Son of Spawn. Let's just go through these names. Escalator. Thank you. You set me up with that one a few weeks ago. We've got someone awesome who had a moment yet to set a lap so far, but it is close at the top. Rain of Fire, Brocky. Good to see him back in the lineup tonight with 13 minutes to go in qualifying. And you can see there, Saint Sim, we lost him, I think it was last week, didn't we, unfortunately? He was having a good battle with Wilco. And off the track there for Brocky. And is traffic going to be an issue here with what we got, 25 cars, Bob, as Brocky comes back into the pits?
Well, the track, it's actually a big track, so traffic shouldn't actually be too much of an issue. But when you've got that many people trying to get out in, a relatively limited time, to get their times up on the boards, yeah, they can all converge in the same place at once. And it's, you know, it's not good for anyone, you know, to end up in a bit of a sandwich.
All the time you need to live in the space. That's what Nando used to say. But 12 minutes left in this session. We can see Jim Woodin coming around to start another lap. And as we just go off that stream, here's our provisional pole position man, Jason Wilkinson, on a 150.432. Behind him, not too far behind him, is King Albert of Spain. Hey Trev, nice. I'm pretty happy with that front row start for him, but he'll be looking to go a little bit higher than that. And then 5 tenths further back, 4 tenths back to Barter's back in the pit lane. Whipper track 92. We do have a yellow flag, but I think it's that infamous pit lane yellow flag that we have, of course, when a driver comes into the pit. Sexy Rexy, this man right here has been showing some good form, hasn't he, of late, Bob?
He has indeed. It's going to be different tonight though, because obviously we've got the top guns from all 3 leagues. So yeah, it's going to be a proper mixed bag tonight. You know, we can already see there we've got Wilco up the top. We've got Alberto sat in second. He'll be really happy with that. Since being away on his holidays, he hasn't had any, you know, hot results of late, so he'll be really happy with that one. Barders, that's, you know, good to see him up there. So, you know, there's 3 leagues. Oh, and we just see John pops in on third.
So John up to third, and he's been replaced.
By Figo.
Yeah, he's been straight away. He's been displaced by Figo, another pretty handy peddler, that's for sure. The Spaniard 3 tenths further back, and Wilco, if I'm not mistaken, has gone even quicker with a 150.225, and he is not finished yet, is he, Bob, here?
No, none of these guys are. I mean, the track will be, I mean, it's showing optimum now, but obviously it's still going to rubber up as this session goes on. But yeah, I would expect to see quite a few changes in the order at the moment.
Still plenty to unfold. We are almost halfway through this qualifying session. Round 1. It is the RPR KRL. And we've got the shakedown, boys. It is all happening here. All 3 leagues combining for the Interleague Summer Series. Happy first day of summer to you over there, Bob. Round 1 here at Indianapolis with the BMW M2s. And look at those lap times, says the Nigerian Prince. He says pretty close. Should be a spicy race. And speaking of spicy, it's got nothing to do with what I'm about to say, but please, if you're out there watching, we've got the Baker's Dozen at the moment, 13 people watching the stream tonight, please consider clicking that follow button. It would help us out immensely, and that's the only plug I'm going to give for tonight. But I've got to say, Figo looked to someone outbreak themselves there as John coming back out onto the track. Let's just go through these names. Whipper Tack. That's not the first time I'm going to make that mistake tonight. Sexy Rexy, and is that an unsafe release? Andrelli has gone straight through him there. Someone awesome. 1.10 a second, 1 second in fact, off provisional pole position. The boss, 260 GT. Rounding out our top 10 is Andrelli. Then it's Urban Ghost, Kilroy as well, if you don't mind. Rain of Fire. Sideways Polka. This is incredible. 25 drivers coming together, and it shows you what a great sim racing community we're lucky enough to be a part of, doesn't it, Bob? When you get a turnout like this, it's absolutely incredible, and it's just what we want to see, isn't it?
Yeah, especially with the problems that the title has had just recently, you know, with their latest PS5 patches. You know, now it is raceable. It's great to see the grids filling back up again.
Absolutely fantastic.
Obviously, the title was missed.
The times are tumbling here in qualifying. Can anyone beat a 150.225? Anyone apart from Wilco? Let us know your thoughts. Get amongst it in the chat. We are live and exclusive on Twitch. And RPR, KRL and Shakedown, like we said, all getting together tonight as Wilco's pulled out of that lap. And Albert, here comes Albert. And that second last chicane here at the Indianapolis circuit has been causing a few issues, a few drivers out braking themselves there, Bob. But, well, who's your fancy tonight to be tasting that sweet, sweet milk here at the Brickyard?
To be honest, I think it's hard to pick because you know we've got you know some of the best drivers there are out there at the moment, and you've only got to look at that. Well, just look at the top 10. They're all names that all of us have known for quite some time. So I mean, Jim would be in a good position at the moment to tell us how some of these sector times are going, and to, you know, who he feels that could be on a move in the next sort of 5 minutes, and who could be potentially climbing up the leaderboard.
Yeah, absolutely. Bob, Trev, welcome. Yeah, pretty much I'm looking at Wilco has fastest first sector and third, whereas Figo actually has purple sector or in the middle. So he's definitely got some pace through there. Let's see if he can just improve in the first sector, and he should be able to jump up a little bit.
Great stuff. Thank you, Jim Woodin. And you can see their little picture-in-picture action, Bullseye Bobby. As we can see, we are seeing what the great man Jim Woodin is streaming here tonight. So there we have it in the top right-hand corner of your screen. A little bit of an overcorrection, I think there. A little bit of oversteer, but 6 minutes left. Geordie, who's joined us, wants to see what Brocky's doing, and that's what we're doing right now. He is 5th, a 10th further back from Figo, and this is just setting up an absolutely incredible. I know the Nigerian Prince said it was going to be spicy, and boy oh boy, there is no doubt about that, because after qualifying a 60-minute, that's right, not 45 minutes, not 50 minutes or 55 minutes, 60 minutes of racing action here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Full formation lap, 1 mandatory pit stop for tyres, and we are going to bring all the action to you here tonight. What a night we have. In fact, 4 leagues. In fact, I think we've got Kid Byers, Rising Phoenix, Shakedown, and Ruse, I think is the other one, Bob. I think so. 4 leagues combining for the action tonight. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, correct. I mean, there's a lot of cross-pollination, you know, between all of the leagues as well. People want to be racing as much as they can, so you have them entering in multiple leagues.
And it's great to have all 15, that's right, 1-5 people watching us here tonight is absolutely fantastic. Don't forget to hit that follow button on Twitch. We'll be doing a lot more Twitch stuff, especially now we're starting this Interleague Summer Series on our Twitch channel. 5 minutes to go in qualifying. There is a yellow flag out, but it's doing it again, Bob. In fact, there might be someone else off. In fact, I think they're coming back into the pit lane. What has Barter's been doing? Look at that gap between Sexy Rexy Yibbita and Barter's there. Only 0.003 of a second. Jimbledon, orange equals RPR, blue equals KRL, as Barter's is back into the pit lane. That's right, we've got a bit of colour, I wouldn't say colour coordination here tonight, but each member of each particular league running their own separate liveries tonight, Bob, and I've got to say it looks pretty good on the BMWs.
Yeah, there's obviously we've got the you know, sort of burnt colour for RPR. We've got the purple for Shakedown. We've got the blue for KRL, and I forgot what Ruse colour was. But yeah, I mean it's going to make it. You know, Ruse is yellow. Sorry, I just saw Jim's message pop up then.
What will we do without him?
No, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome tonight, and you expect to see those colours all mingling. There isn't, you know, an out-and-out standout in this field. You know, all of these guys could potentially win tonight. And
it is going to be exciting. We know that. We've been building it up for the last 17 or so minutes, but we are counting down to the end of this qualifying session. Let's recap. If you're just joining us, hello and welcome to you wherever you're watching right around Australia and the world. It is Jason Wilkinson on provisional pole position with a 150.225 in the number 19 Beamer, and then we've got this man Albert, who's been away on holidays in his native Spain, but he is back now and setting a very quick time there, 0.197 in fact behind our provisional pole man. Sexy Rexy, second row of the grid with the exact same time. We see it so often Bob, all of those gear changes, all of those decisions, thousands of decisions through each lap, and it all comes down to nothing between them. So Rain of Fire, crap, I'm running purple in RPR. He says, oops, and Skill is quicker than 20th. Geordie says, waiting to see what he pulls out of the bag. Let's take a look at your man Skill down there in 20th. Exactly 2 seconds off of provisional pole position. Is he starting slightly out of sync here? Down there, way down in 20th position, Bob. He certainly will get another lap in, I think, before the end of this session. As we see Jimbledon coming into the pits, he's going to have a look at some of the other guys out on track, on board, helmet cam style, if you don't mind. But Skill down to 21st now. It's not where he wants to be with 2 minutes left in this qualifying session, Bob.
No, but to be honest, in these hour-long races, a lot of times the quali is not reflective of how the race is going to run. As we see, oh God, so Albert's gone top. So Wilco was sat there nice and relaxed at the top of the table, and Albert has pipped him.
Wow.
And I think in this last minute and a half, I still feel you're going to see a couple of changes in that top 10.
And look at that, if you don't mind, Albert, the man on your screen with a 149.797. 4 tenths. Well, we thought Wilco, he set the high water mark in the early stage of qualifying, but I don't know what fast is in Spanish. In fact, I'm just looking it up now. Rapido is the... Rapido. That is very rapido, if you don't mind. 4 tenths, look at that. And then another 7 tenths further back to these two with exactly the same times. Albert, holy smokes. First man into the 150s. Are we going to see anybody else? Into the 149s, I should say. Are we going to see anyone else in that territory tonight, Bob?
Well, that's definitely thrown the gauntlet down. So, you know, there might still be a bit of evolution. I would say everyone that's out on track now, it's their last-ditch efforts. So, I mean, Albert has obviously gone into the pits and he's calling it a day, but Wilco will not be wanting to give up on that, nor will Rex, nor will someone awesome. Everyone that is out on track at the moment, they're gunning for that time.
And Rain of Fire says test his fuel like the old Ford Sierra days as we're counting down now. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is it. Time is up. So if you're on a hot lap, you might as well keep going because that's your last chance you're going to get. I don't think Jason's going to take that too well, getting pipped in the final minutes of qualifying, especially with a time of 149.797. We might get him to save that lap and save it to his PlayStation, and so we might show it next week. But that is a stunning lap. Second place for Wilco, of course, and it's Sexy Rexy. He's back into the pits along with someone awesome, exactly the same time, if you don't mind. And then it is Barters in 5th, 3,000th further back. How close is it then? John, who's still out on the circuit. We might stay with this lap. And you can see Figo there coming around the final corner. What's Wilco got for him, says Burrow Dog. Is he still on a run? Let's have a look. Let's see what he's got. We might try and... He's on a flyer at the moment. Thank you for the heads up, Burrow. Well, here he comes around the final corner. This particular layout of circuits, similar to the one that the F1 cars were on. Here he comes. And he can't improve, Bob.
No, I mean, for Albert to, you know, smash that time by 4 tenths, that is considerable. You know, if you've taken it by 1 or 2 tenths, yeah, it might give people an opportunity to, you know, fight back. But this is what Albert's been well known for, you know, over the years, is he can chuck in that lap right at the very last minute and just upset the apple cart.
And let's take a look at Boss now, as we are riding on board. That is the session finished. No, Boss is finished as well. That is it, over and out. And wow, someone says that Albert was born in a BMW. Notice for Blue saying that. Thank you, Notice for Blue. It's great to have you with us. But that was a rapid lap indeed from the great man. And I've got to say, with 60 minutes of racing action coming up, that even psychologically, what would be going through the other guys, what would be going through their mind, as Wilco says, who invited this Spaniard? Awesome lap. And with the Nissan gloves, and I've got to say, what's going through the other drivers' minds when they see a lap like that, Bob? It's not going to be good for them, but still 60 minutes, plenty can play out, can't it, in an hour of racing?
Yeah, exactly. And I've just seen there, I don't know if Jim wants to take us through those sector times. I just saw that he held it on the timing screen there, and I think Albert was the quickest over the first and third sector. Was that right, Jimbo?
That's correct, Bob. Wilco had the fastest second sector, and the other notable mention is Rex and Someone Awesome had exactly the same time, 1 minute 50.547.
That's amazing. I mean, we are expecting a very close race tonight, and you know, these single make races do make for some real tight, fun racing.
Certainly does. Look at that. There we have it. Less than 2 minutes till we get underway. We do have a longer formation lap tonight, but we will go through the grid prior to getting underway. If you are just joining us, hopefully we can go with Albert. It's going to be a tough job, that's for sure, Wilco. But 1 hour of racing ahead of us, and it is the King of Spain on pole position. It certainly is going to be some fun viewing. Stacked grid, notice for blue. Thank you for watching. Please follow if you haven't already. Wilco alongside Albert on the front row of the grid. Then it's Sexy Rexy, yibbida yibbida. And then it's Barters alongside him. John in 6th. Figo in 7th. A pretty handy peddler as well. Brocky in 8th. 9th for Whip Attack 92. Rain of Fire. You can see it flashing there, rounding out your top 10. Mayo in 11th. Bits are missing. That's not with me, of course, but Bits are missing 77 in 12th. Some new names here, of course, different leagues joining us tonight, all coming together for a great racing series, the Interleague Summer Series. Happy first day of summer to you, Pinch and Punch, wherever you're watching right around the world. Then it's Andrelli 14th, Sideways Polka 15th, Mac Miller in 16th, Aussie Thunder behind him, Urban Ghost, Kilroy as well. Running out your top 20, Son of Spawn. Then it's 30 seconds to go. Thank you for that. Race Control, we're almost ready. Skill in 21st. Then it's Branchy, F1 Sniper, Saint Sim, Jimbledon, 25th, rounding out the grid. Wow, and then there's a spectator down there in the 26th grid slot as well. That is yours truly.
10 seconds.
10, 9, 8, 7. We're getting ready for the countdown, Bob. We do have a very long formation lap here tonight, and that is going to just build the tension as we lead up to the start of this one. I've got to say, 1 hour. That's right. This is round 1 of the Interleague Summer Series. 4 leagues coming together as we see the drivers head away from the grid. And I think this might be a record, Bob. 25 drivers. What an outstanding turnout as we see the drivers get away on their formation lap. It is a long one though, Bob, so we've got plenty of time to get ready for this one.
Yeah, it's a shame actually. We should have considered it earlier. We could have jumped in, and on this outlap we could have gone in with Albert's pole lap and seen, you know, how he pulled that 4/10. It's something we can consider for the future. Yeah, 24 cars out there. Obviously, Jimbledon is actually in the commentary box with us. But yeah, tonight I'm really looking forward to this. Albert, you cannot ever rule him out, you know, regardless if he's up front or if he's in mid-pack. Wilco right with him. Rex has been showing some, you know, awesome pace just recently. Someone awesome, always fast. He is pretty awesome. Barders, John, Figo, Brocky, I'm quite surprised by that one actually. I don't know if he hasn't spent a lot of time in this car, but in 8th position, that to me is out of position. I'd have expected him to be up on the you know, the top 3 places. But lots of guys out there that, you know, have got the ability to win this one.
It's going to be an absolute ripper. And quick mention, we've got Jimbledon with us live. And tell us, Jimbledon, I know you're a busy man. You've got plenty on your plate at the moment on this warm-up lap. But how's the track feeling 49 degrees, so very hot out there. The conditions, it's going to be a tough one. Jimbledon, how's it feeling?
It's going to be an absolute scorcher, Trev. Look, the tyres are going to be a shade of rainbow. There would be no other way of saying it. Probably about the third lap in. Front left is normally pretty orange. So tyre management is going to be massive for this race.
Certainly is. Like we said, thank you, Jimbledon. All the best for the race. Down there in 25th position, we see the drivers coming through now. We said, Bob, there are a few drivers, of course, out of position in this one here tonight, but we're almost ready to go. 25 drivers. One thing guaranteed, we're going to see plenty of action here tonight. What a race we have in store. 1 hour, 60 minutes of racing action. And can anyone catch Albert out front? Wilco's not too far behind him. When will the mind games begin? Drivers needing to stay, of course, in their lane. They can only go a certain speed too, can't they, Bob? But here we go, coming around the last corner. We're going to ride on board in the top right-hand corner with Jimbledon as well, who's going to give us a bird's eye view. Here we go, green, it is go away, round one of the Interleague Summer Series. 25 drivers streaming down into turn one, and already Wilco looks like he's got the jump on Albert and takes the lead, but Albert is not done with yet. He's going to go around the outside, but Wilco leads into turn one. Rex and someone awesome, and nothing between them in qualifying. There's nothing between them at the start of this race either. So it's blue, purple, if you don't mind. KRL versus RPR Shakedown. I tell you what, it's going to be an absolute cracker. Opening lap, if we had any contact, it looks like everybody, Bob, has got away cleanly right down to Jimbledon down there at the back of the field. Oh, we've got a spinner, Bob.
Yeah, I don't know how all the boys made it through those early couple of corners. Obviously, there's a bit of... I thought there was going to be a bit more. There is. Yeah, there's a bit more contact as the laps progressed, but I don't know what happened right at the very start, but Kilroy actually got a drive-through flash up.
I'm just looking at that right now, Bob.
Penalty.
It looks like he was out of position at the start. I'm just watching the replay.
Yeah, I had a feeling that was all it could be, because it was actually as they crossed the start-finish line, it flashed up immediately.
And there we have it, top right-hand corner of your screen. Ladies and gentlemen watching at home, you can see there the replay. Thank you, Jimbledon. Fantastic stuff getting the replay there for us as he heads back to the circuit. But I've got to say, opening lap of this race, it is Wilco leading, half a second ahead of Albert. Then Sexy Rexy ahead of John. Someone awesome in fifth. Whip Attack in sixth. Andrelli in seventh. Rain of Fire not too far behind him. The Boss in ninth, running up your top 10, Mac and Cheese. Then it's Brocky 05. That man is out of position, and he looks to be making a move, eyeing up Mac here to get inside that top 10. End of lap one. Where do you look, Bob? We're only a lap in, still plenty of time to go as Andrelli sets the fastest lap early.
Yeah, you can see, I mean, obviously people are really out of position. Brocky's actually dropped 3 positions off after lap one. I can't see where, well, Barders has ended up right at the very back. Say again, Jim?
Alberto and John just had contact.
And Albert and John have had some contact. Albert and John, we see this quite a bit, don't we, Bob? Sometimes he's a great skill gaining 4 places there. Thank you for that. We see it sometimes, don't we? He's a great qualifier, Albert, but we see him sometimes, Bob. Not a criticism, but he can go backwards in the race, can't he?
It all depends on, especially these races. You know, you can, make one very slight error, in these single make races, and you can lose 3 or 4 positions, very easily. So, you can be punished very much so in these, these kinds of cars.
As we're getting word through that Skill also having a spin. He was around. Look at that. He's got some damage on the front of that car. Voodoo, please, everyone out there, if you enjoy what you see, please consider following the channel. It would be great. But here we go. lap number, we're still on lap 1. It's hard to believe, isn't it? It is Sexy Rexy out front. Look at this. Rex Buckingham, 2.3 seconds. So he's getting away at the front early. Saint Sim right down the back there, getting the fastest lap. In fact, now it's Sexy Rexy, 2.3, back to John. And Wilco, is he going to have a look here, Bob? No. And he just poked his nose out there heading into turn 1. Didn't make a move in the end, as off goes John. And that's going to give Jason a chance. Albert wants a piece of that along with Whip Attack, and John losing out big time there. He went into turn 1 in second, and it looks like he's going to come out 5th, John.
Yeah, I don't know what happened, Jim. How did Wilco end up relinquishing the lead there? I saw on your screen that there was a blue KRL car was actually turned.
Yeah, it looked like Wilco got past Alberto at turn 1, but then I think everyone got on the marbles and just absolutely lost traction. No one could really stay on the racing line. Alberto lost further positions and then sort of had a bit of a coming together with John. I'm unsure who was at fault there. So yeah, there was multiple incidents on that lap, and that's really scattered the field.
And where to look? There's battles absolutely everywhere, right into the midfield, and you can see everyone is going around, aren't they? Somebody else is off. I didn't see who that was. I just saw a flash of green and purple there. Who is that? Was that Spawn, I think, who just shot off the track there into the background? Brocky's got the fastest lap. And wow, if the first 6 minutes is anything to go by, this is going to be action all through the field. Jim's voice is faint, can only just hear him. Thank you for that, Geordie. We'll get onto that. Our audio team back in the truck. We'll get that sorted out, but thank you for the feedback. Let us know how the audio's sounding otherwise. We'll love to hear your feedback and comments. Thank you, Geordie. Absolute pleasure to bring this to you tonight. 18, 1 and 8 people watching this. Please consider following. We're trying to hit that 50 mark and make our living off of Twitch, aren't we, Bob? And then we can retire very happy. One thing, hot lapping with 49 degrees track temperature in the track. It's another door-to-door racing. Boys are sweating for sure. There's going to be some sweaty palms on those racing wheels. Thank you, Notice for Blue. And we've got a yellow flag out, but I think it's somebody in the pits again. Wow, for sure. Thank you, Geordie. Great to have you with us, our beautiful people. That's what makes it so fantastic to bring this to you. It is such a good community, Bob, and you can see how close it is. Wilco all over the back of our pole position man, but Whip Attack is staying with them, isn't he, here?
Yeah, he's doing really well. What I've been keeping an eye on, in actual fact, if you look further down the order, from 13th to 18th, there is a chain. There is just a big train of cars. They're all separated by, 3-4 tenths.
And you can see, we're going to have a look at that now from 13th. F1 Sniper, the man on your screen. No Barters. No Barters. What's happened to Barters? We'll have a look at him. And he's got some damage on that number 9 BMW. Thank you, Geordie, for the feedback. Our voice, he says, Bob and Trev are perfect. Oh, isn't that nice? Thank you for that. How's Figo going? Vintage Racer 1967. Absolute pleasure to have you. I met the great man down at Sandown a couple of months ago. He's an absolute star, isn't he? How is Figo going? This is a man who does seem a little bit out of position. Talking about the train, he's inside the top 10, but boy, oh boy, he's got Brocky, Rain of Fire, and the boss in front of him. Figo having a little bit of a look, but he seems to have the pace, but he's just stuck in a bit of a train himself at the moment, isn't he, Bob?
Yeah, it's very difficult to get past here. Sometimes you have to be forceful. Sometimes you just have to, stay in their mirrors and, just create a mistake. But these cars will be hammering their tyres, to try and get an overtake done on the brakes. That front left is red hot, so it can all go wrong for you. So best for these boys at this stage of the race, remain patient, keep it on the black stuff.
Stay calm, still 51 minutes Got to know how to dodge cars. 51 minutes and 19 seconds. You can see, if you're wondering what that is in the top right-hand corner, that is Jimbledon's point of view. And he is alongside us in the commentary box tonight, along with Bullseye Bob Hoskins. The suave English voice going very well with the rough Australian voice. And then we've got 4 laps gone. Sexy Rexy in the lead, but Albert has cut that gap back as Rexy looks like he might have outbraked himself there heading into the chicane. But 1.7 now, so Albert on the comeback trail. Looks like he's taking Jason with him, and Whip Attack, who was all up in their business a moment ago, has dropped almost a second further back. Then we've got that gap back to John, 27, 3.9 seconds further back in 5th. Then it's Andrelli, Brocky, Rain of Fire, then the train starts, doesn't it, Bob? We've got the boss, and Figo has made a move. He's up into 9th. He's past the boss there.
Yeah, so, I mean, as the boys settle in and as tyre wear becomes more, more obvious as the race goes on, your smoother drivers, I'd expect to see them gently climbing up through the field. Figo is one of those drivers. Obviously, he was out of position at the start. There's other drivers out there as well that are massively out of position. There's Skill down in 14th. There's Barders in 15th. McMain, we're used to seeing him a bit higher up the field than he currently is. Mayo down in 20th. Bits are missing. We've seen recently in Shakedown, he's actually been doing very well for himself. Yeah, there's so much that can still happen in this race.
As Skill and Barters, they are having some fun. As you can see, Barters there, 15th, Skill, and now Barters they're swapping positions. F1 Sniper going through, Son of Spawn. And this, like we said about the look at this train from about 13th down. There's 12 seconds between 12th and 13th, and then Barters, Skill, Son of Spawn there. Some damage on the front of these BMWs. Only, 4 or 5 laps into this race. And Mac, or somebody off the circuit there, we'll wait and see. Saint Sim sideways in 19th. And Mayo, who's been a little bit quiet there. Bits are missing outside the top 20 with some damage to that BMW. The number 3, 2 laps down, Urban Ghost. And then our man Jimbledon, if you don't mind, where is he? He is coming through there. Look how close it is in the battle. I'm not sure what the point system is for this championship, or whether it's just, are we playing for sheep stations or not? Bob, what's going on here in this 3-round series?
No, they have. They've sorted out. Unfortunately, I'm on my phone. Obviously, been sent away for work. But yeah, no, there is a point system worked out for this triple header.
I can help out there, Bob, if you want. Yeah, we've got points of 30 points down to 1, and it's going to be compiled between the leagues. So it will literally be RPR versus KRL versus Shakedown versus Ruse. So it's 30 points for a win, gents.
There we have it.
That's
Great stuff, Jimbledon. And great job. You're doing great work, Bob. I know it's a bit difficult on your phone at the moment, but you are doing an absolute fantastic job. And it's a pleasure to have you along with us with your company and everybody watching at home. 15 people on the stream still at the moment. It's an absolutely fantastic number. Almost 30 drivers taking part in round 1 of this new Interleague Summer Series. Happy first day of summer to you, wherever you're watching right around the world. It may not be summer wherever you're watching from, but anyway, we're getting some summer here in Australia. And it was a bit warm over in Perth there yesterday as well, wasn't it, Bob, for the test match? But Rex in first, and Albert is very rapido, the masculine version of fast in Spanish. Less than a second, Bob, if you don't mind here.
Yeah, top 3. There's 6 temps separating, first to second, second to third. We've got the top 3 almost within a second. We're starting to see a few gaps presenting themselves, but you can see there are battles everywhere. Brocky is right. Well, no, he's just got it done on Andrelli. Is that right? Yeah, it looks as if Brocky's just made an overtake.
Let's have a look here, Brocky.
So he's up to 6th now. So yeah, I mean, there's lots of tight gaps everywhere there. You've got Skill is, he's a cigarette paper off of F1 Sniper's tail. You've got Son of Spawn is, 3/10 off of the back of Skill. There's battles everywhere out there.
Absolutely everywhere. First day of summer, 20 degrees. It is a little bit strange, isn't it? And Vintage Racer, the great man, joining us tonight for the live stream. He says, has Sexy Rexy used up those tyres already, Bob? But he is in some traffic. No, I beg your pardon. He's not in traffic. Well, he is in traffic. That's because he's been passed. Look at this, Sexy Rexy from 1st to 3rd. He might have used up those tyres, Vintage Racer 1967, because he is really struggling on that rubber. 48 degrees now, the track temperature. Air temperature of 38 degrees, so it's gone down a degree. But he may have cooked those tyres already. Should he make a pit stop, Bob? He is struggling, isn't he, down there? It is Albert leading now. Wilco behind him. Sexy Rexy, yibbida yibbida. He's down to 3rd.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect to see anyone coming in the pits this early. But these cars are going to hammer those tyres. So, yeah, we will see mistakes, from time to time. We saw earlier, Albert lost the lead going into T1 at the start of the race. He then had an off. Wilco's had an off. Rex has had an off. John's had an off. Bard has fallen back through the field. These cars, when it goes wrong, it can go horribly wrong.
A lot of people have been off. Let's have a look at who's on. Not sure what's happening there, Jimbledon, as we seem to be sort of falling through the earth. I
tried to get the pass for the lead, but I thought I'd better get out of there before I got booted.
Yeah, you just upset the matrix or something there. I'm not sure what was happening, but 8 laps gone. Think shorter list. Enough about who's off, who's on. That'd be a shorter list, wouldn't it? There we have it. So 44 minutes remaining. Albert Rapido Zoom in first position, only 7/10 ahead of Jason Wilkinson. Sexy Rexy, what is he doing to us? He's dropping back and now he's coming back again. Whip attack further back, 5.5 seconds off of that lead trio, and then it's John who doing very nicely indeed. 3 seconds further back, Brocky, Figo, the boss, 260 GT in 8th, Branchy in 9th. Here they come, rounding out your top 10. Aussie Thunder all up in Branchy's business. And is he lining up a move here in the final sector?
Yeah, it's one of those tracks, that you can think that there's going to be a move on, and the door can be rudely shut on you. But yeah, the biggest place for a pass is where these two boys are now.
Here we go into the chicane, back onto the main straight. We'll keep an eye on that battle, but we've got 2-0. Stop everything, Bob, because we've got 20 people watching this stream. 20 beautiful people. Please consider following the channel. We're on the race to 50. It would be great to have you along for the ride. Round 1, Interleague Summer Series. 4 leagues, that's right, getting together to race here tonight at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the famous Brickyard. Who is going to taste the milk tonight? Maybe something a bit stronger, who knows? But it is Albert 1, Wilco 2nd, Sexy Rexy in 3rd. What an opening 18 minutes we've had, Bob. We don't know where to look. There's been action absolutely everywhere.
No, there has. This will be changing all the time. I don't know if Jim wanted to give us some time with a shakedown driver. Who would we say that is one to watch at the moment?
Obviously
Whipper in
Alberto, that races with everyone. Let's have a look at Whipper, car 5. Who is not really following anyone, but he is an absolute rapid driver. Typically, he will set up the car to the nth degree and get absolutely everything out of it. So really solid driver for Breakdown and currently in 4th place.
Great stuff, Jim Woodon. Great to have you along, brother. Absolutely fantastic. And I think while you were talking about that, Jim Woodon, Sexy Rexy looked to me to have a moment because he's now 3 seconds further back. from that battle for the lead. I didn't see what happened there, Jim Woodon. Maybe we could get a look a little bit later on, maybe on the replay, but he's definitely lost time on this last lap. You can visually see that gap now. It's roughly 3.5 seconds now, and Sexy Rexy, he's falling back.
And go.
Stop and go. It's a stop and go penalty. Who is it, please? Who is it, please, Bob? I think it's Urban Ghost, is it, with the SG30?
Yeah, so I don't. He's already been in the pits. The stop go 30 is normally for speeding in the pits. I didn't see the whole message, so maybe he's come in. He's had an early pit stop, and yeah, he's picked up that penalty.
And there we have it. You can see there trying to get at the action. We see Jim Woodon, thank you, on the replay screen back in the director's van. And he is trying to see what happened with Sexy Rexy, but 10 laps in. Albert, Brocky up there on John. Brocky will be looking after his tyres. Very important, Geordie. He is a very smooth driver. Let's take a look, in fact, at that man, Brocky. He is right up there, isn't he, at the moment, coming up to John, right up behind him. There we have it, Brocky. And haven't called his name too much tonight, but we've sung his praises. He's more a driver who just keeps that pace steady, and it's all about looking after those tyres. Like we said, track temperature 48 degrees. At the start it was 49, but with less than 40 minutes to go now, it is all about conserving those tyres, and Brocky's doing an absolutely terrific job right behind John and Whip Attack. Let's go through the field. Why not, if you're just joining us? Figo down there in 7th, the boss. Then it's Thunder. Branchy rounding out the top 10. Rain of Fire, beg your pardon, in 10th now. Look at that. 10th, if you don't mind. Branchy outside of the top 10. And then it's Andrelli through your picture. Then Barters 3 seconds further back. There he goes. Then Skill. And we're hearing now from the Nigerian Prince that Kilroy has disconnected from the server, so that is disappointing. So we've lost one. Urban Ghost, is he into the pits? No, he's still circulating. He's still got that stop-go penalty. And let's have a look. Braking, Jim Woodon. Braking. We've got Albert into the pits. The Spaniard into the pits. Is this a little bit early, Bob? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, unless the tyres are dead, and maybe they're looking at only sort of getting just over 20 minutes per set of tyres.
And as Brocky now, I think he might have made that move. Yes, he has on John, so that's done. As Albert comes out of the pits, like we said, a little bit early, but I think Albert might have some clear air, does he, on the track? He's dropped down the field a considerable distance, but still, if he can get some clear air and pump in those lap times without taking too much life out of those tyres, you just want to use them up all at once, don't you? It's like getting a new something new, a new set of a new bike or something. Not sure where that's going, kit buyers. But anyway, 37 minutes to go. John in 5th now. Brocky is racing through the field. Next up is Whip Attack. And, well, he's coming up on him too. Could he be in the top 3 in not too long? I've got to say that Brocky is pumping in these laps at the moment. You can see a little bit of damage on the front, but still, it's not slowing him down too much, Bob, as he's trying to hunt down Whip Attack for 3rd.
Yeah, no, I mean, this young man, obviously, he come very close to being on the world tour for Gran Turismo Sport a few years ago. Unfortunately, he couldn't go on the tour, but he was in those positions. So very accomplished driver. So yeah, it was a surprise to see him so far down the field, but obviously, that consistency that he's shown over the years, you're seeing that what that can produce right now.
Yep, drivers seem to be talking about tyres a lot at the moment. There is a lot of tyre chat between the drivers, a lot of chat in the commentary box. And like we said, Brocky, very handy peddler. He's right up the back of Whip Attack here. Almost made the GT World Tour. Not too many World Tours for me, Bob. My back goes out more than I do. But Brocky now, is he going to make a move? Whip attack into third. He's not going to get it done there on this occasion, but 12 laps gone. Wilco still leading. How long will he stay out? And then it's Sexy Rexy, who must have found some pace, Bob, because those tyres must be coming back slightly, because he's not going too badly after dropping back a few laps ago. Is he coming in? We've got a stop-go cleared for car number 16. Who is that down the back? I think Urban Ghost. He's finally cleared that stop-go penalty, Bob, but he's 2 laps down outside of the top 20.
Yeah, it's still a very long race. We have seen Urban Ghost going pretty well, just recently, in his respective sort of class. So, keep his head down, keep himself out of trouble. Although you don't want to see those penalties, it's not the end of his race.
As we see, the drivers lower down the order, these two. You can see there we've got Son of Spawn 14th, Skill in 13th, and Andrelli in 12th. And this is a battle, like we said, battles right throughout the field. As Skill coming into the pits. And he's disappeared behind the... He's going to reappear soon, trust me.
Yeah. Watch the smaller screen. He gets him in the pit lane.
Oh, he's just pipped him in the pit lane.
Oh my God.
And talk about how good's this picture-in-picture business. We've got Jim Woodard on board too. What happened there, Jim? Did you just get him in the pit lane entry, did he?
Yeah, exactly. Who was behind him? Was it Branchy? But got out on the grass and just had to back off just to get back on. So Skills made it through on pit entry.
Great stuff.
Yeah,
there we
nice
have it.
catch there, Jimbo. Nice catch. That was really nice.
Great stuff, Jim. Jim Woodard, the great man, joining us in the commentary box. How well is this working out tonight? Lap 13. This man out front by 4.7 seconds. I'm not sure what his lap times are. We've got Albert, who set the quickest lap of the race. I think is Albert in some clear air. Skill.
Yeah, that's...
Yep.
Sorry, what I just wanted to ask Jim was just to have a look at what Wilco's last lap was and what Albert's last lap was. Albert is back down in 18th, obviously, after taking an early pit stop. But the gap to F1 Sniper has actually come down by about 4 or 5 seconds over the last couple of laps. So I'm wondering if Albert is the absolute flyer at the moment.
It certainly looks it. Albert's last lap was a 1 minute 50.2, whereas we're looking at 0.8 of a second or even slightly higher. So just creeping into the 51s is Wilco. So Alberto gaining 0.8 of a second per lap.
Gaining all the time. Thank you, Jim. Fantastic to have you along. We're hearing that Skill might be worried that he's sped in the pit lane as he comes out of the pit lane. Would we have found out by now as he comes back out onto the track? We might have. No, I think he's all right there. But Albert absolutely flying as Skill comes out behind, I think, the boss, but he's well and truly down the field. So in some clear air, you can see Albert. He has made his pit stop and he is absolutely flying. Thank you. Just slowed enough before the line. Swapped headsets, hoping the audio is better. It's so much crispier. It's unbelievable. Give us a testing, Jimbledon, please. It sounds absolutely fantastic.
Oh, g'day, mate.
Yep, I'm terrible. I can't help myself. Sorry, Jim. But we're not going to have him next week, are we, Bob, the way I'm going? But yeah, better audio. Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. How good is it to have Jim alongside us as Sexy Rexy? What is he doing, please, Bob? Avudu, the Nigerian prince. If you want eternal happiness, send all of your money to 123 Nigerian Prince at hotmail.com and you will get your Prince mail ordered out to you via Murray Bridge in South Australia. But I've got to say, Brocky now, the quiet achiever here, isn't he, at the moment tonight? Hasn't done a lot wrong, and he's up into third. Sexy Rexy coming through. He's still in second. Brocky making some moves, Bullseye, because he can see Rexy not too far ahead of him.
Yeah, to be honest, this is going to be so hard to call. I mean, the one for me at the moment, just looking at the times, Albert is absolutely flying, but I think he's pulled the trigger too early, you know. He's not going to be able to see this out to the end of the race, 40 minutes on that one set of tyres. Brocky, obviously a very smooth driver, looks after his tyres. He's looking best poised at the moment.
As there we have it, Brocky looking very nice indeed. And we said, didn't he, he's a master of the tyres. He's the tyre whisperer. John and Figo, 4th and 5th. The boss, not too far further back. The field spreading out a little bit. We do have battles right throughout the field. Here on lap 15 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, BMW M2 style here, round 1 Interleague Summer Series. Absolute pleasure to bring this to you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't mind, thank you for joining us here on Twitch. It is Kit Buyers, KRL Racing League, Rising Phoenix, Shakedown and Ruse by their respective colours. Yellow for Ruse and purple is Shakedown, is it? No, that's not. Here we go. We've got some we've got some promotional offers coming through. We'll get back to the colour schemes because Eric says, hi, I want to offer promotion of your channel, viewers, followers, chatbots. The price is right.
We are halfway through, not over yet.
And half the race gone and half still to go. And we'll get back to Eric in a moment because we've got some sponsorship action happening as Rain of Fire is into the pits from 7th position, Bob.
Yeah, so we're starting to see the pit stops where we expect them now. Most of the drivers will have opted to, split the race 50-50. I just can't help but feel that Albert might have shot himself in the foot with that early pit stop, unless he's trying to gain track position and then, fend everyone off at the end. Now, you can't write Wilco off on this either. Look at the gap that he's got out front. It's considerable.
It's getting very considerable. You can see there 8 seconds now. As I think we might have seen, Brocky may have come into the pits, I believe. Brocky, yes, into the pits and then out of the pits. So he's going to be in a good position in the final half an hour or so of this race. Vintage Racer. He's throwing the cat amongst the pigeons. He says Albert has gone for possibly a two-stop strategy, Bob. Is that a possibility around here, or do you lose too much time?
Well, I think you would lose too much time. I toyed with the idea of it when he went in because it was only just over 20 minutes, when he pitted. But, looking at the gap that's ahead of him, I can't see the two-stopper as being an optimum strategy here.
He's gaining 1.3 seconds over the last 3 laps on Wilco. But it still won't be enough, I don't think. And it looks like Rain of Fire just got a drive-through, exiting the pits.
No.
So Rain of Fire there. Thank you, Jim. Jim, Bob, and Kid Byers alongside you here tonight. I've got to say that he did look a bit quick coming into the pits. They're not quite that quick. It's a drive-through penalty. Not a stop-go, but a drive-through. So he's been a bit of a naughty boy. And he'll have to come back into the pits for a drive-through. And Rain of Fire coming up. He's been, like we said, down in 15th now and about to be lapped, I think, by our race leader. And Wilco, he does this a fair bit, doesn't he, Bob? He just likes to go a little bit longer and builds that gap. Builds quite a healthy margin. What is it now? In fact, back to our man in second. It was 8 seconds. We'll wait and see. 8.4 now, then another 9 back to Figo. And you mentioned, Bob, about Albert shooting himself in the foot. Is Wilco going to have enough of a gap to maybe come in and come back out again in front of the Spaniard?
With that in mind, no. I believe that the speed deficit that Wilco has to Albert, Albert will be in front, but it's if Albert can keep hold of those tyres for the rest of the race.
That is going to be the challenge. As who's that coming in, Jimbledon? Is it Spawn or somebody else there on the right-hand corner of your screen? Top right-hand corner, live with Jimbledon streaming. And look at this, Andrelli And Andrelli, is he coming through? No, Figo well out of position there. Figo in 3rd, Andrelli, of course, in 17th.
Oh.
But he's coming through, I think. Is he? Yes, he is.
Yeah, Figo's had an off.
And Figo's had an off. It's Albert, he's got it covered. And Figo's had an off somewhere. And he's gone off again, has he? He's taken an interesting line through that final corner up onto the banking here at the Brickyard. But these two battling it out, and they're well out of position, 16th versus 3rd. But Andrelli might have the fresher tyres on this occasion, Bob, because he's through again.
Yeah, I think that's what you're seeing at the moment, is someone struggling on very old tyres and someone that has just recently come out of the pits.
And you can see there, Andrelli, Figo's tyres are toast. They are toast. They're burnt toast, that's for sure. Vintage Racer 1967. Huge shout out to you. Great to be bringing this stream to you. Round 1 of the Interleague Summer Series. And you've got to say that Jimbledon doing the best camera work I've seen up in the top right-hand corner. How good are we working, Jimbledon, if you don't mind? It's
Don't watch that one. I didn't quite get it.
No, that's all right. It should have come with a warning. We were flicking through quite quickly. But 25 minutes. Let's recap. It's 25 minutes left in this one. 18 laps gone of the race. If you're just joining us, Wilco leads. Rex in 2nd, Figo in 3rd, and we've got an SG30, we've got a stop and go for Sideways, and down there in 19th position, we sort of, it's every fortnight we get these stop-go penalties, isn't it, Bob? We had them in Watkins Glen a couple of weeks ago, then we missed out last time around, and then now the boys are copping it again. They're being a little bit naughty in the pit lane, but Figo... Then it's Mac and Cheese Balls, 4th. Then Albert. Wilco in the pits. Here he comes. Into the pits now.
This was going to be the interesting one. Let's see where Albert is on track.
Let's see where Albert is on track. And coming into the pits there, beautiful work. I'm liking this picture-in-picture stuff. Thank you, Jimbledon. And Albert, has he done enough? Has he done enough in this stint? It's going to be tight, I reckon, to see what he's going to do. You watch the track, I'll watch the pit lane. The famous quote from the late, great Murray Walker. But this is going to be tight. This is going to be tight. Where is Wilco, please, Jimbledon? There we have it. He's stationary.
Parked up.
He's still parked up. It's taking an age to get him back out onto the track. The invisible pit crew not doing enough at the moment. Here comes Albert. Rapido. That's what he'll be saying in his Spanish cockpit helmet there. He'll be saying he wants to get this lead back of this race. He absolutely blitzed it in pole position. Wilco's coming out, but Albert's through. Albert's through, is he? I think he's going to take the lead, yes. He's up into P1. The King of Spain is the King of Indianapolis so far. And it's going to be Paella tonight with I've got to say, if it stays the way it is, well, he's got Mac in front of him, but Wilco now still taking an age to come out of the pits. And Albert through, Bob, well and truly.
This is all about if the young Matador can keep hold of these tyres.
And can he keep them going? He's got Mac. I was about to say he's got some traffic, but this is, of course, for the race lead with Mac, the only driver in the top 20 yet to make a stop. And those tyres after 19 laps, Bob, and 47 degrees now track temperature are not going to be too healthy as Albert is going to make a move. He does not want to use up too much. Oh, there's contact between Albert, the King of Spain, going up against Mac and Cheese Balls. I think he might be through, but boy, Mac did not make it easy, as you'd expect, because it was for the race lead, Bob.
Yeah, if you've adopted the lead, yeah, you don't want to yield it. It doesn't matter that he's still got to come into the pits. If you're the front car, you want to stay that way.
Certainly do. Albert through into the lead. If you are watching this, we hope you're enjoying it. Everybody watching at home, fantastic stuff. Just a big shout out there. 30. If you're watching, please consider following this channel. We're on the way to 50 followers, and then we can put our feet up, can't we, Bob and Jim, and live the easy life. But Albert in the lead anyway. We'll get back to the on-track action. 21 minutes remaining as we are looking at a replay between Mac and Albert. And, well, I think Albert just expected him to sort of evaporate there, Jim, but it wasn't happening.
Yeah, maybe just the sharpness of the corner, caught him out a little bit. I think, might have missed out on giving Mac a little bit of room on that one, in my opinion.
Great work, as always, Jim joining us, aka Jimbledon as he's better known. But we've got to say, Albert, let's recap. Boy, where have it's been all happening here is Mac finally in the pits, Mac and Cheese. You can see they're in the pits, so the last driver to get into the pits, Albert, lap 20, he leads. But 10 seconds, we're going to keep a cheeky eye on this one, Bob. 10 seconds is that gap with the man from Carrum Downs and the number 19 BMW with the better tyre, the fresher tyres here with 20 minutes to go. It's going to be interesting. Number 19, of course, after the great full forward from Hawthorn, Jason Dunstall, also named after the great full forward, is this man, Jason Wilkinson, the man from Carrum Downs, who is a multiple KRL champion. He is not out of it for the win tonight. And I've got to say, Bob, it is far, far from over with less than 20 minutes to go here in round one, Interleague Summer Series.
Just keep an eye on the replay, top corner.
Oh, was that a bit of argy-bargy there, Jimbledon? What happened there?
Son of Spawn coming up on Branchy. And yeah, just got all a bit tight through turns 2, 3.
And gap not big enough, says Vintage Racer. He reckons we are not done with here. Albert is not home yet. 10.4. We'll keep an eye on that, Vintage. Vintage Racer 1967. Have I mentioned that we met each other down in Sandown? And if I haven't, then I've mentioned it again. 20 people on the stream for a Thursday night. Where else would you want to be? Absolutely nowhere. Great to be bringing this to you tonight. Plenty of action still to come in the next 19 minutes before we start the final countdown. And Brocky as well. Too early for driver of the day votes, but I've got to say Brocky still sitting pretty up there, 4 seconds ahead of Whip in P4. On for a podium here still, Bob.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening with the gap there at the moment. Oh, as he goes off, so commentator's curse. It was at 9 seconds. I think that he had actually slipped a little bit of time to Wilco. Obviously, that slight off track is not going to help his cause.
This is brilliant. This is brilliant. And he feels like Anthony Davidson on the sky pad. Jimbledon's working beautifully. Maybe we can get an interview, get a few interviews afterwards, Jim, with some of the drivers by the sky pad, go through their laps and have a look at some of the highlights. And the commentator's curse. The commentator's curse, Jim, very strong tonight. I think Brocky was almost off before we even mentioned how good he was travelling, but he's up in third there still. Whip down in fourth. Sexy Rexy, is he going to be disappointed tonight, Bob, with his performance, do you think?
Sorry, gents, top corner, watch this one. F1 Sniper, Rain of Fire, getting very, very close.
Oh, we might just have a look. I'll get back to you in a moment, Bob, because
sorry guys.
No, that's okay, just jump in, Ant. Anthony, you're probably a little bit taller than Ant. That wouldn't be too hard, would it, though? But Rain of Fire, Mac, and F1 Sniper all together. And whereabouts are they? They are 16th, 17th, 18th. And it shows you the massive turnout for this one, because we've got battles right throughout the field. We've had it all night. And we've still got the battles on board. Top right-hand corner of your screen. I'm sweating my tits off here at the moment. It's so hot here in Victoria today, would you believe? It's a nice change though, Bob, as Rain of Fire now, he's leading this battle, but Mac and F1 Sniper, oh boy, they are keeping him honest.
Yeah, this is what we expected tonight though, wasn't it, gents? You know, battles throughout the field, and yeah, the boys have not disappointed.
There we have it. So Sniper, Mac and Rain of Fire, like we said, great work, Jimbledon. This is absolutely brilliant. Not sure whether we can afford him next week, Jim, but if you are available, we'd love to have you along for round 2. That's right, we'll get to details about that a little bit later on. But 22 laps gone. Who's setting the pace? Who's setting the pace? Please, Jim, where are these purple sectors happening?
Wilco is absolutely flying right now. He's doing 1 minute 50 flat, and Alberto is starting to get close to a 52.
Oh, did you hear that? Did you hear that, everybody at home? This is not over. And Jim just giving us the lap times there. Thank you, Jimbledon, because Albert, the Spaniard, and you can see, look at this, onto the main straight.
It's visible now.
The gap is visually closing, Bob, because 7.7, it's less than 8 seconds now.
Yeah, so it was... Unfortunately, you know, I pray that he hangs on to this, but unfortunately, yeah, I think he did. He jumped the gun. He come in too early.
Fantastic. Vintage Racer loving this Interleague series. Should be more of it, he says. And Voodoo says 110% all the way over there in South Australia. Great to be bringing this to everybody watching tonight. Vintage Racer 1967, pretty handy racer himself. Absolute pleasure to bring this to you. Fantastic to have you on the stream. Whip Attack and Sexy Rexy. This is getting a little bit tight, fellas. Look at this. The question that people are asking is how wide can Albert make himself? We'll look up we'll look up that word in Spanish very, very shortly on Google Translate. But I've got to say, Whipper and Rex, Sexy Rexy, yibbada yibbada. He's getting very close here. A little bit too close, Bob. Is he going to have a look?
Again, at the moment, he's probably better off just biding a little bit of time. You know, I don't think either of these two have got the pace to catch up to Brocky, so just bide your time. You know, try and eke out what you can out of your tyres. Try and have them in the last couple of laps.
Oh, 14 minutes to go, 23 laps gone here. 4 leagues coming together as Sexy Rexy, don't think he's going to get through there, son. He had a little bit of a look, but pulled out of it, decided not to. Very smart. And as our man Bob Hoskins saying, you're better off biding your time. Tyre wear a huge issue. Track temperature still 47 degrees, 38 degrees. Air temperature at about 55 in this commentary box. The beer is on ice. I've got to wait another 13 minutes. Beer or milk? Who'll be drinking the milk here tonight? Oh, Albert leads. Albert leads. He made that early pit stop, and I'm nervous. I'm nervous, Bob, because that gap is closing. It's closing ever so slightly, isn't it? 7.3 now. 7.3. Let's see what it is.
He's picked up the pace. Alberto's picked up the pace. He's back on a 1 minute 50.8. So he's just, he got into a bit of a rut probably the last 6 or 7 laps, and now he's pulled himself back through.
With the new tyre model, Jim, it's quite possible that he's taken a couple of laps just to let those tyres calm down a little bit, just for a few laps, just to see if they actually get a second wind.
Really good point.
The one that I'm interested in at the moment is, I don't know if you've seen the gap between Mayo and Branchy. Those two are having a bit of a ding-dong at the moment.
And we'll get to their ding-dong after we look at this ding-dong. Rex looking to make a move there on Whipper. And is he going to hang it around the outside here? Rex onto the grass. Was on the outside. It's turned into the inside, and you can see we're going to have a look down here. We've got some spicy Mayo action, have we, Jim? Please, what's happening down there?
Yeah, he's just sitting off the back, half a second off Branchy. Just driving nice and cleanly at the moment, but yeah, just setting it up at this time.
As we take a look, still after 48 minutes of pure racing action here at the Brickyard, we've still got plenty to go. Rain of fire, wanting a piece of Mayo action there, if you don't mind. Branchy not too far ahead of them, and is that Mac and Cheese? He's fallen down the field. He's a better racer than 17th position, but still plenty to play for. Sniper and Polka sideways, who 2 laps down, Bob, but he did get that stop and go penalty, I think it was, for speeding in the pits, and that did not help his cause here tonight.
Yeah, but credit to the young man. You know, he's picked up the penalty, he's taken his medicine, he's stayed out there, he's still circulating. Hats off.
There we have it, full respect. 25 laps gone. And the Spaniard Albert, who lives in Hawthorne down there in Melbourne, the Spaniard, he's been on holiday. And it's a good thing, because I've got to tell you, in about, what do we reckon, Bob, in the, is he going to keep that? We said about these tyres getting that second win, though, didn't we? They get through that first cycle, and then you can struggle a little bit, and then they come back into their own. But you can see Wilco there in second position. What can he do? 6.7, 10 minutes to go. It's not done yet. Do not go anywhere, ladies and gentlemen watching at home. Brocky in third. 8.5 seconds further back, and this battle continuing to rage between Sexy Rexy and Whip Attack 92. Rex still...
Got a nice replay of Rain of Fire on Branchy just coming up for you. It was a beautiful move around the left-right.
And great stuff there. We've got Jim on the KRL pad doing beautifully there. Bit of picture-in-picture action. You can see that is a good move. Down the inside, no contact there. Very respectful indeed.
Big coconuts. And that was set up from a long way back. Really lovely move.
Great stuff. Big set of coconuts there, that's for sure. And full marks to all of these drivers tonight. Everybody racing in the field. We had, what do we have, 25 I think to begin with. We've lost a few off the timing screens down. We've still got Albert. Oh my goodness, this battle. Can't take my eyes off this. I think this is possibly one of the closest battles on the circuit. Maybe not quite the closest. I think we've got Mac and Cheese down there behind Mayo, and Rex is all over the back of him. We'll stick with this one for a little bit longer, I think. Is he going to make a move here? Outside? Inside? Rex and Whip will be focusing on those rear view mirrors. Sexy Rexy is here, and he's ready to play, Bob, but he's not quite through yet. As you can see, top right-hand corner of your screen. Inside the helmet, in fact, of Sexy Rexy there. And Rex still, it's a difficult, where is the best opportunity, do you think, down where we're coming up to now, you reckon, Bob? Where is the best possible chance? You've got to line it up early, don't you?
Yeah, off of the banking into T1 is your most obvious place. But you can leave yourself vulnerable into turns 2 and 3, because obviously that's a fast flowing section of the circuit. So yeah, where the boys are coming up to now is probably your easiest overtake, but yeah, it's there's still plenty of fight left in these boys.
And still 8 minutes remaining. I think we may have lost somebody else, Jim. We'll not sure whether you caught that, but I think we're down to 18 cars running. Down to this man sideways, Sniper. And that battle, Mac, it was very close, wasn't it, between him and Mayo, but he's dropped a little bit further back at the moment. We'll try and see who that was that dropped out, but Skill, how have you seen his race tonight? He's had some ups and downs, hasn't he? But sitting in 12th, is he going to be happy with that, do you think, Bob?
Well, in all honesty, we don't know how much practice the lad has had, but I mean, he started in 21st, so net gain 9 positions. Yeah, I think overall you've got to be happy with that.
Can't argue with that. That's for sure, as he's not too far behind. 1.8 seconds as he goes through, I think, on sideways there to put a lap on him. There he is, 11th, Son of Spawn, then Andrelli inside the top 10. So I think everyone's going to get points, or a point at least. Multiple points, in fact, here tonight. So we're counting the points from 1 to 30. Half hour, yes. Yep.
Sorry, mate. Delta time between Wilco and Alberto. Wilco is still gaining by half a second per lap.
Half a second a lap. I'm not sure how many laps we've got. Thank you, Jim. Right across it. We're going to see whether we can get Jim back. Well, like I said, whether we can afford him next week. But That is going to be the interesting part about it, that's for sure. But 28 laps gone. How many have we got? Oh, my goodness, it's close. It is very, very close. It's getting even closer with 6.5 minutes remaining. And that's for sure. It's going to be right down to the end. 4.7, Jim. He's taking, what do we say, please? Half a second a lap, is it?
Half a second, that's right.
And if
but
we...
both drivers are very irregular with their lap times, so they're definitely both struggling on their rubber.
And, well, we have a lot of 45-minute, half an hour races, 45-minute races. Jim, from your experience, when you get to that 60, 55-minute mark, is concentration a factor in terms of the endurance for these drivers? Our concentration at the moment, is that a problem?
Yeah, definitely, and especially if you've been in a couple of battles throughout the evening, that just ups the mental load throughout the evening. So, yep, these guys have been hammer and tong for, 55 minutes now?
Yep, and Speaking of hammer and tongs, these two showing no signs of slowing up. Sixy Orexy, yibbida yibbida, and he just can't quite get it done, can he? But full credit to Whip Attack, who is putting that purple number 5 BMW, Bob, in all the right places here with 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, I mean, look at this, the scrap between these two. How many laps has this been going on for now? And they're still separated by a cigarette paper. This is phenomenal. They're not bashing each other. They're sat that close, and they have managed to do that for. I've lost count of how many laps.
Yeah, it's been all clean, all fair as well. As we take a look at Mac and Cheese. If you don't mind us, he made a move. Jim, I think he's made a move on Mayo, and is that Branchy as well with them for company? We've got 15th, 16th, 14th, 15th and 16th, I beg your pardon. Come on, the Pony Club, Rexy and Figo, Sexy Rexy. Vintage racer, great stuff. Come on, the Pony Club, he says. Oh, around goes Mac and Cheese. Mac and Cheese is off. We've got a yellow flag, and I think, is that Mayo waiting up
Should
for
be a
him?
replay top corner for you.
Replay top corner. My goodness, how quick is our man Jim onto it? You can see what happened there, and just a little bit clumsy by the looks of it there, Jim.
Yeah, just overdid it on the brakes. Very easy to do on many of these corners. Very misleading how much they turn back on themselves.
And there we have it. Once the pendulum, once you're going around, you can't stop it. Figo and John not done with here in this race, battling for P6 at the moment. We're seeing some battles. It's going right down to the wire. We had a bit of a quiet time there, but it wasn't for long. And Skill also now on the back of Son of Spawn. So we've got about 3 or 4 battles here, Bob. Less than a second.
Yeah, and this is why these single make races they're a spectacle. It's great to see, and the way that there was a massive spread through the field, and then all of a sudden we're back with loads of battles again. So it's how the boys have been driving, how they've been looking after their tyres. Just holding back just a touch, just to have the longevity, and see the final laps out at a decent pace. Great to see.
Less than 3 minutes to go, and we still don't know. 30 laps completed, and the battles continue. They continue. 60-minute race here for the opening round of this Interleague Summer Series. Pinch and a punch. First day of the month, wherever you're watching. First day of summer here in Australia. And it is great to have your company. Great to be bringing this to you on the KRL Twitch page. Don't forget, please consider following the channel. It'd be great to get you on board for the rest of this Interleague Summer Series. We've got a couple of rounds to go. And speaking of a couple of minutes to go, 3.2 seconds is Albert. He's hanging in there. He set the fastest lap, Jim. 3.1 seconds. Is he going to hold on?
Oh, I think he will. Wilco might catch him by that last lap, but then of course he's going to have the time to line up a pass.
Yeah, it's going to be tight. Jim, right across the lap times there. 3.1 seconds. Brocky, who's done a really good job too, Bob.
Yes, he really has. But Bob will be eating his shorts for doubting the young Matador, you know, for thinking that he come in too early and was going to pay the price with dying tyres in the latter stages of the race. It looks like the boys got it done.
Looks like he's going to hold on, but then again, funny things have happened, Jim. It's not over till it's over. And the fat lady sings, "Ooh." So I shouldn't have done that, should I? Not with not after talking for an hour or maybe more. But anyway, an hour and 29 minutes make that, Bob. And here we go, leader. Enough of that. Leader is on the final lap, and Wilco's got some traffic, has he, Jim? He's got a car between him and Albert at the moment. The Matador, the Spaniard, 2.8 seconds. Few more corners to go. Can he hold on? This will be the last lap of an absolutely epic race here tonight at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's still not over. Just pinch a brake, go off, a slight mistake. Wilco's through, Jim. Wilco's through. 2.8 seconds now. Only a few corners between him and victory here in round one of this series. He's got a cool head on his shoulders. That Spanish cool head is going to get it done here at the moment, but stranger things have happened, Jim.
Yeah, F1 Sniper, really good awareness there, just moving over just slightly to let Wilco through. Massive respect on track.
3, 2, 1, 0. Time is up. What a fabulous drive by Alberto. I've got a thing for the Spaniards, of course. Alonso, Sainz, Alberto as well. I better not say that too much. I have scared him off in the past. Thank you, Vintage Racer, but this has been an absolute epic race. 1.9 seconds now, 31 laps gone. We are on the last lap for the final time. Albert he was rapid in qualifying. He took pole position. He went for the early pit stop. We were wondering whether those tyres would last. And I reckon he's going to get it done here through the final corner to win round one of this Interleague Summer Series in Indianapolis Motor Speedway. He's taken the milk and the cookies tonight. Wilco finishes second. Here comes Brocky. What a drive it's been from him. He will finish on the podium tonight when it's all said and done. He comes out onto the start-finish straight. And it's been absolutely a fantastic all-class from Brocky. He comes across the line, but this battle rages, continuing. It's still going. It's been going for however many laps, Bob, and it's still continuing across the lines. Sexy Rexy
Phenomenal. Can't
get it done. Whip Attack takes P4 ahead of Sexy Rexy. John takes 6th ahead of Figo. No, they didn't swap places at the end. Here comes Barters. Barters coming home in 8th position. The battles, we had Albert, Jason, we had Whip and Sexy Rexy, John and Figo. We're still not done with yet, I don't reckon. We've got a few more down the order because Skill is not too far behind Andrelli. Barters there, Aussie Thunder. He will finish 9th and collect a couple of points. Andrelli, who's this battle? Skill now. Where did he start, please, Bob? Was it 21st, I think? So 11th.
21st.
21st.
Net gain of 10 positions. Awesome.
Great performance from him. You can see the donuts in the top right-hand corner of your screen. How good's our man Jim been on the replays tonight? Working absolutely beautifully there. So is my internet. It's held up. It's held up, Bob. I was wondering how it was going to hold up. And we've still got 20 gorgeous people here on Twitch. Now, I'm going to say it one more time, ladies and gentlemen. We've still got some racing going on here as Mac and Cheese. That battle continues, Harvey. And there we go, the final finishing order on your screen. I was about to say, please consider, in fact, don't even consider, just click that follow button and follow the channel if you want to see more incredible racing just like that, Bob. I'm sweating like a dog in a Chinese restaurant here in the commentary boxes. The boys are having some fun, but what a race we've had, Jim and Bob. Where do we start to unpack all of this?
No, I'll tell you what, phenomenal. Just a rough calculation, just looking, only at the top 6 at the moment. but it's looking like Shakedown have got the slight edge at the moment. We won't know until the tables are done. Followed by KRL, followed by RPR, because first Albert representing Shakedown, second Wilco representing KRL, third RPR Brocky, and then it followed exactly the same order for the next three. So yeah, I feel that Shakedown are going to take an early series lead, followed by KRL, followed by RPR.
There we have it, the 4 leagues combining. Vintage Racer says, great commentary tonight, boys. Loved the coverage, and we've loved bringing it to you, and it's been an absolute pleasure to bring it to you. Loved having you along, Vintage Racer, for the ride. Don't forget, next week as well, the action continues with round 2 of the Interleague Summer Series. We'll get those details to you very shortly. Keep an eye on our social media channels as we're going to recap.
Green light, go, go, go.
Green light, go, go, go. But there we have it. So like we said, the 4 leagues coming together. It's been absolutely fantastic. KRL, Rising Phoenix, Shakedown, and LaRue's, all in their separate colours, of course, tonight. And, well, we've had an absolute ball, Bob. It's been an absolute pleasure working with both yourself tonight and Jim. And I've got to say, everything seemed to run pretty smoothly. And we saw, most importantly, some fantastic racing.
Yeah, well, that's what we've been here for, is the racing. And yeah, the boys put on a great show tonight.
Notable mention, Trev. I'd like to just mention Brocky had a stunning race, making his way up from 8th place on the grid, and Skills as well. Made himself up 9 places in the race, up to from 20th to 11th.
So there we have it. We're going to get to driver of the day. We're going to have a cast a vote, boys. It's a tough one, isn't it? They don't make it easy for us each week, do they?
There was a lot of racing going on.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, as Brocky just pointed out, as Jim just pointed out, yeah, driver of the day for me, it's got to be between 2 of them. It's got to be between Brocky and Skill for me.
There we have it. Geez, it's hard. It's hard. I'm going to sit on the fence with this one. I don't want to. I don't think. Am I allowed to vote for a KRL person? Maybe not. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
You can if I can vote for a shakedown driver. There you go. Come on.
So we've agreed, but I don't know. You're putting the pressure. You're putting me on the spot. I don't know. I can't do it. I can't do it, Jim. I'll tell you what. But are we getting the drive? Actually, change of subject. Are we getting the drivers in for a chat? I'm not sure whether we're doing that.
Myself.
Are we getting?
So we're just.
I think we might be. Yes, I think we might have our race winner on the line. Albert, the Spaniard. Can you hear us?
Yeah. Hello, Trev.
Hello, my friend. And it's not. I shouldn't have favourites, but made a fantastic race tonight. You absolutely came out in qualifying and sent a real message to the rest of the field, mate. But talk us through the race. We were worried you might have come into the pits a little bit earlier, and just how those tyres were going to last with the hot track temperatures, mate. But talk us through your race tonight.
Yeah, definitely came too early to the pits, but it wasn't because I wanted to. I got both tires on the right-hand side with under pressure. I got the message that the pressure was getting lower, so I was gonna get eventually a puncture, I think. Yeah, first was the right rear. I went a little bit too aggressive onto one of the curbs, and I didn't care because I was still keeping the distance with Wilco. But then it was the right front, and I had to pit because I felt it in the last 2 corners. It wasn't turning properly, and I saw Wilco making a mistake, so I just thought, oh, this is my chance. But I was very worried for the last 15 minutes when Wilco pitted, and I saw him lapping a second faster than me. I didn't think I was going to make it, but yeah, I guess at the end I was just focusing on my lap times and hitting the apexes, and yeah, it worked out, so very happy. I hope it was a good race because yeah, I couldn't see much, but congratulations to Wilco as well and P2 and Brocky. It was a great event. Cheers, guys.
And thank you. We're just getting some audio in the background here. Thank you for that, Albert. And there we have it. Ganador, winner. Gracias, Albert. Geez, it took me a while to find that, didn't it? Anyway, thank you for that, gracias, Albert. Fantastic performance tonight, mate. And we'll see you next week.
See you soon,
Well
boys.
done, Albert.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Well done, mate.
P2. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen watching at home for that audio issue. We've got that fixed up now as we head to the man from Carrum Downs, the number 19, Jason Wilkinson. Wilco, have you got us there?
Loud and clear.
And I can hear my own voice in the background. But Wilco, mate, talk us through it. We'll battle on with these audio issues, ladies and gentlemen at home. But talk us through your race, mate. P2 in the end, not quite what you wanted, but still, you almost did it, mate, but not quite.
Yeah, that was interesting race. I had the same message Albert had. I'm pretty sure all the drivers would have had. Just using the curbs just takes the pressure out of the tyres. But I got that message about 35 minutes, so only a couple laps after after Albert pitted. So I thought I've got to go long because I know how much the tyres drop off, and you saw the speed difference. Maybe I left it a lap or two too late, but end of the day, Albert with his nursing a real baby in real life, he's learnt how to nurse the tyres, and he got the job done. And very good race. It was good fun, and congrats to Albert, congrats to Brocky. I'm not sure where you started. You sort of popped up in that last stint there. I was like, ooh, not bad. P3, so that was good fun. Good fun.
Great stuff. Thank you, Wilco. Our man in P2. Big hello to everyone down there in Carrum Downs. Hughes Bakehouse still doing well down there. They lost a few shares since Big Shep moved down to Warrnambool. But anyway, moving right along to P3 tonight. Our man Brocky, mate, have you got us loud and clear there? P3 tonight, you're a favourite up here in the commentary box, mate. You just had your head down and ended up with a podium finish. Talk us through it.
Yeah, well, downloaded the DLC this afternoon because I've been away on holiday for a few weeks, so I haven't really done much at all. And just sort of had a really poor qualifying. Qualified, I think, in 8th, and then lap 1 tapped the back of Barters, so I think went back to about 11th or 12th, and then just put my head down and pushed as much as I could to make up some positions, and was surprised to end up in P3.
Fantastic stuff, mate. Well, the holiday's done you the world of good, because you've come back and you finished on the podium, mate. Congratulations, fantastic racing. Great close racing tonight, mate. You ended up on the podium. Well done.
Thanks, mate.
There we go, Brocky. And that is just about a wrap for round 1 of this Interleague Summer Series. Round 1 here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It has been an absolute pleasure to bring this to you tonight, ladies and gentlemen, alongside me. Big thanks to you, Bullseye Bobby Hoskins, the suave Englishman. Thank you, my friend, for joining us here tonight.
No, thanks for having me, Trev. No, always a pleasure working with you. And yeah, huge thanks to Jim. Great work on those cameras tonight.
Great work and beautiful lead in there. Jim, mate, you've been an absolutely fantastic performer here tonight. I've got to say, just on top of those cameras before it even happened, nearly. Fantastic stuff, Jim. It's been great to have you on board, mate. Hopefully we can get you for next week if you're around.
Yeah, I'd love to say all those replays were planned. Bit of a fluke, but hey, it came out really good. So I loved every minute of it. And let's look for next Thursday. I believe we're at Kota, and we're driving the Super Trofeo 2. So yet another amazing single class race.
Yep, fantastic stuff, mate. Great to have you on board. Nigerian Prince Voodoo, great to have you joining us along with everybody else on the stream tonight. He says Jim for driver of the day, for the cameraman of the day as well. It's been absolutely fantastic. Kota next week, next Thursday night, live and exclusive, 8 p.m. Eastern time. From 8 p.m. Eastern time, of course, we'll bring that to you. That is a wrap. That's our lot done, ladies and gentlemen. Take care of yourselves, be kind to one another, and we'll see you next time around here on KRL. Bye for now.